Hello, welcome to the Wholeness Principle. I'm Allison Michelle, and I am changing everything. This is the moon cycle we're in. We're at the last phase. This first quarter moon, which to me is the last quarter moon, because I'm beginning my moon cycles with wholeness. The full moon, where both the moon and the sun are standing on opposite sides of the earth, each in their own fullness, in full confidence. This lunation occurred on Father's Day, this brand new Cancer sun. So the sun had just moved into Cancer and the moon had just moved into Libra. They formed a square at 0 degrees, Cancer and Libra, on Father's Day at the summer solstice. And I thought it was a beautiful metaphor for this fullness as a new beginning, mutual fullness, wholeness, for the maternal and the paternal energy. So here we are, it's Cancer season. That is the sign of the mother, the root. And we celebrate Father's Day. It doesn't always land right on the summer solstice, but this year it was exactly on the summer solstice. And it made me think of a woman so whole unto herself that she could celebrate Father's Day as it is meant to be celebrated. And who knows what that means, but a woman so healthy and a man so healthy that they are capable of fully giving themselves to the other. And that is what I mean. I have a single short posted on this channel right now. That can change at any time because I certainly take liberties to change up my channels. I mean, so long as I'm operating God knows how many miles below sea level under the radar, I'm going to change up whatever I want. I'm going to take advantage of that anonymity. So, as of right now, I have a single short posted on my channel about the magical other. And I don't mean anything other than this. I'm not talking about someone to swoop in and save us, but I am defending the magical qualities and feelings that we feel where there is love. Part of the reason nobody wants to be alive right now is that we have killed all the magic just because it doesn't materialize externally exactly how we thought it would in our heads. Or something like that. I don't know. Or this comes with the loss of God. When we can't assign all of that magic to God and then see ourselves as recipients of it, and to whatever extent we can be avatars of it, when we remove God, then all the pressure is placed on each other to be the magic that God meant to us. And all that said, part of my reason for making that video and even reposting it is that I believe in becoming magical to others. Be magical for others. And what does that mean? Be your highest self. Don't be afraid to be what you admire. I think when we have a low opinion of ourselves or our worth, and when we think God does not care about our existence and that nobody does, it feels audacious to step up into an image that is confident. And I remember the brave first steps, or actually I don't remember. I just remember that I had to do this. I had to take several brave first steps into self-possession, like speaking where I formerly remained quiet, and making a move when I formerly just hoped for something to happen. Speaking of making moves, Libra and Cancer are both cardinal modalities. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal begins things, fixed anchors them in, and then mutable fades them out. They transform into something else. Beginning, middle, end. Classic story structure. I have a lot of cardinal energy in my chart, and I will just start stuff all the time. I'm always starting something. I am very much struggling to just remain fixed in some things right now. And this short about the magical other, I rediscovered it. I filmed it back in 2021, I think. And it kind of synchronistically found me a while back. And when I rewatched it, I just felt this big, like, oh my God, where am I now compared to where I was then? And I experienced a disappointment in myself. Like, I have not lived up to all the things that were in me at that time. And I just felt what probably a lot of people feel watching that, which is jaded and like, this girl's on one. And that's why I posted it. I posted it because we experience higher realities in these microdoses or uncomfortably large doses, which is kind of what I was going through still at the time. But when they fade, they disappear. When we come back down in vibration, we're like, when you can't access the vibration anymore, the knowledge, the information is also gone. So, high highs give way to low lows. That's something I have learned so completely at this point. Thank God for being bipolar. I have learned the reality of that. It's so different to, like, I would not want to be a person who is just steady, easygoing, level-headed, well-balanced, naturally. I don't want to be that person. I am the person that has fought. I mean, okay, I actually, no, in many ways I am that person. But when it comes to being bipolar, you have triggers, you have wounds, and that's what brings out the erratic, the I don't know how to handle myself, the high highs are a coping mechanism for lows that could kill you. And then the high highs become a different kind of danger, but having to struggle to remain balanced and to actually work on my triggers and be honest with myself, that is the battle which makes you a hero. Recognizing what trips you up and becoming the hero that slays your own dragon, which in my mind, you're not slaying it, you are figuring out how to ride it. How to Train Your Dragon. Disney and Pixar cover all of this stuff just as well as any esoteric text. They really do. And we can't be so jaded that we discard the child in us that wants to just believe in a Disney happy ending. That is defeat. But you have to become the magic that creates your happy ending. Even if you don't get it in manifested forms, if you don't get the house with the picket fence or whatever you're wanting, the big book sales or the role in whatever, I don't even know. I don't think I've ever had a thing to want. Maybe this goes down to like the whole like women have no hobbies thing. It's because the true feminine orientation is just to nurture and facilitate and watch grow and sustain growth. And I mean, Cancer is the sign of the mother and the root, the family. Libra is the sign of partnership. These are my two dominant, my sun and my moon energies, mine personally. So that is my true orientation in life. And that's not where the rest of the world is at. So what I want has not been able to be fulfilled. I mean, I could have settled for something. I could have had a family and partnership. But those are things that need, that must have the individual, the two individuals forming the initial unit that is the family need to be in a state of health. They each need to be able to stand in their fullness. And even culturally, just worldwide, human beings don't know what man and woman, each in their full power, operating in the world, in full respect, in full love. We don't know what that looks like. Because so much of the rest of the world has been accustomed to degradation of some form. And even if a man and a woman fully respect one another, and I am going to speak in terms of respect more often, because when I was younger, I felt like respect was, I don't know, it was just something different, and I had some little fight about it. Well, partially it was that I felt like men could either respect me or love me. They could not do both. I'm just going to leave it at that. But my perspective has evolved as it should. Because we don't live in a culture that allows for respect on an inner world level. We have a lot of it as a performance, but honestly, I am so grateful for our going back to the justice phase of this cycle. I am so grateful for our retardification and complete disregard for external forms of respect right now. Enshittification, that's the term we've got for it, and it's perfect. And we needed it because we have to get rid of the fake before we can start growing the real and the true. So when you are demonstrating respect to people because it serves their status and your economy in some way, like when your livelihood depends on you, like saluting to someone higher than you, like when that's all respect is, and it doesn't come from the heart, it is dead. Like when I speak of this tree of death, that is what I'm talking about. The appearance of something in the world that is disconnected from its root. A branch separated from the vine. Like it's not connected to the living God, the source, love. Anything disconnected from love in your heart, any move that you make, any thought that you think, is a dead branch. And if you're living a whole life on your surface in a performance, then you are dead on the vine. And you can reconnect. All it takes is awareness. As long as we're working in metaphors, all it takes is awareness. Until, things actually start falling apart on your body or in your life. And you can see that more damage is done. Like, hopefully you can get started where there's just a metaphor to work with. Thought forms. Thoughts are things. Don't do anything that doesn't come from your heart. Ever. Be very strict with yourself on that. And that's, look, lately I've been so overwhelmed by ideas and things to do that I've not been able to do anything really. And I'm trying so hard, so much of my day, to just bring it down to one simple thing. Like, how do I condense all of this? How do I distill everything? Just don't do anything that doesn't come from your heart. If it's not coming from your heart, don't do it. And if you're doing it from your heart, don't worry about it afterwards. Don't overthink. Period. We don't need pressure to choose a God, which is something, I don't know why I always end up here when it comes to, it's Jesus. This is like being a branch separated from the vine. People consider Jesus Christ to be the vine, and I am so on board with all the symbolism and everything that Christ says, and even in, like, sometimes I'll have conversations with my passengers or just whoever in life, but lately I'm really only interacting with passengers as an Uber driver. I'll have conversations about God with people, and sometimes they will get down to this question like, so what's stopping you from giving your life over to Jesus? Like, and the way I usually conduct myself in these conversations, it doesn't feel to me that I am in some way not doing that. What, just because I said something about astrology, or what makes people think that a person has not given their life over to this higher power just because we're not stating it in the way that people have been conditioned to hear it? If anything, knowing Christ means that you understand that all beings are already a branch of that vine. It's a matter of recognizing that in one another. And this whole, like, actually, no, I think I know exactly what it is. Because we are coming out of the overbearing father archetype. We have to get rid of this false respect, and also major solar ego, major father figure ego, hero ego, has had to name somebody king, this name above all names. Somebody has to be that name, or somebody else is always going to be fighting for it. So in that way, absolutely, Christ is king forever. Nobody else needs that title, who even wants it. Let him have it. And if he's coming back to earth to be king, awesome. I'm all about it. It doesn't seem to be the way things are going. But anyway, yeah, I have always been deeply religious, not even just spiritual. I have been religious in the sense that, okay, here's another Pandora's box thing, kind of. I mean, I don't know the difference between paradox and Pandora's box at this point, because they're all kind of these black holes that can suck me up. But I've gotten very good at getting myself out of a black hole. Oh my gosh, what was I even going to talk about? Give me a second. The black hole closed itself. It's like, girl, you're not going here today. Just stay out. I don't want to watch the struggle. Wow, it disappeared. That's all good. I wanted to talk about White Moon Selena. Because my personal White Moon Selena happens to be at 0 degrees Libra, exactly conjunct this quarter moon that happened on the first day of summer, and on Father's Day. And White Moon Selena is a point in the astrology chart. It's just a calculated point. It's not something that actually exists in space. It means that the moon is closest to Earth. It's at perigee. Black Moon Lilith is when the moon is furthest away from Earth. That's called apogee. And again, it comes down to, like, metaphorically speaking, the feminine, when it is whole unto itself, it can be closer to the masculine in a healthy way, in a way that's unafraid. But when either are fragmented, then there's nothing but fear. And every religion, every spirituality, every philosophy is an exploration of that fear that appears when two opposing energies are fragmented. Libra is the sign of the other. After it's the 7th sign of the zodiac, the first 6 signs are all about development of the individual self, starting with Aries, the self, being born, the beginning, in spring. And then by autumn, that's cuffing season, that's Libra time, that's okay, you have developed your whole self. Ideally, you have become unfragmented, which is to become unafraid of the other, because Aries is the sign of war, that initial martial energy, and the one it's at war with is the other, Libra. It's literal, well, metaphorical opposite. So, yes, love, before it is love, is war. And that's why we have a degraded view of sexuality. And what occurs when you begin to glimpse, even just glimpse, what it is to be a healthy, whole human, is that your view of sexuality heals also. And it's not a source of shame. Part of what I'm trying to do is create respect for sex. We do not respect not just sexuality, like the counterfeit political rainbow that has been created for everyone to just fuck around with whoever they want to fuck around with. That is not respect of sex. That is a counterfeit version of pro-sexuality. That is just pro-fucking around and doing what you want. It's not taking it seriously. It's also, I've just come to see it as incredibly destructive and misleading. Same with the pill rainbow, the rainbow of counterfeit feelings. That's all our world is very plastic and counterfeit right now, and that gets me really down. But again, you can take those struggles on yourself and become a hero, spiritually speaking. Not in the world. Nobody's going to recognize shit that you're doing. And people are actually going to hate you for a lot of shit you're doing, because it's going to make them feel bad for taking part in the counterfeit world, the fake, the dead branches. I mean, don't go and build your life externally. If you feel like an empty shell, that was actually what happened to me in 2020 or 2019. It was a long thing. I mean, it was still like happening in 2021 when I made this video. I had a massive Kundalini outburst. And my inner life, which I had so suppressed in order to create an outer life, which, I mean, what drove me to the breaking point was realizing that I had everything that I said I wanted. And it was not fulfilling me. And that's why I kept going back to the feelings and the experiences that I encountered with the twin flame whatever, because it was not nothing. Just because twin flames is kind of a training wheels concept that we're working with. There is an electromagnetic reality between the masculine and the feminine. And I mean, since this initial person back in 2006, in the past couple years, I've had the same kind of thing appear with 2 other people, which has shown me that this is not all leading us to one specific person, and that relationship is inevitable. What it's showing me, well, each of these people, like the electromagnetic, psychic stuff that's coming up from them, each of them has a story. And it's a story of trauma. It's history. It's patterns that we are to end. But this stuff gets very confusing because just like any trauma survivor, especially sexual trauma, and on the psychic level, I mean, that's where sex is most real. It presents feeling-wise as complete allure, excitement, passion, even some version of home. Because heaven is passionate and exciting. And that's what we will finally understand once we learn to integrate all of our lower chakra stuff and all of our traumas. And instead of like shaming shame itself, understand that there is treasure to be found in everything we've ever done and thought and been that has been shameful. It's, I mean, you reach this point eventually. Like, again, back to Jesus. Let's talk forgiveness. True forgiveness and repentance even actually wipes your slate clean. Like, it's incredibly powerful when you learn to forgive yourself. Sorry, I'm hungry and my stomach is making all kinds of noises right now. It always is. Back to White Moon Selena. I'm sorry. White Moon Selena is the feminine capable of doing good in the world because she has mastered her Black Moon Lilith energy, her exiled woman, hated woman, disrespected, taken advantage of, like all of the terrifying. Like, we have Medusa, who is a victim through and through. I can't remember the exact details of her story, but Medusa is a woman that didn't do anything wrong, is raped and killed and whatever else, but then she becomes the monster that is feared just because of the way she looks at men to remind them of what they've done. Like, what the hell? Just because she gives a look that is like, I know what you did. Yeah, you should know what you did. Don't forgive yourself without first knowing what you did, because you're just gonna do it again. There's a lot to be angry about on the side of the feminine, and women have to just take their time with their own anger, and that's what I've done, and now I don't feel any of it. It feels just like a story to me. When the emotions are thoroughly processed and you get that glimpse of your health, nothing else matters. You just begin healing and saving yourself so that you can save your future and whatever future for anybody else is possible. Anyway, I've spoken enough, and somehow all of my videos this month have been at 37 minutes, and I'm going to cut this one off at 37 minutes also, just for fun. And, yeah, not that that's way too long of a video anyway. So, in the future, I'd like to cut it down way more than this, but for this mutable cycle, 37 is the lucky number. Also, happiness is love. Okay? Keep it simple, stupid.